What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Oshin. This is Oshin's View. The mics is good. Good, perfect. In the building. 98%. And calling him 98% because the 98% chance he probably won't be up this motherfucker both times like that. So, you know, we got to take the two. Willie Negro is also in the building. You know how that goes.
It's good.
I'm here, man. I'm here.
So, but are you really going to do it? It's a cultural divide. Yo, Kendrick at the Super Bowl. First of all, I'm just going right to it. What did y'all think of the performance? I want to hear what y'all got to say first.
Well, I like Kendrick and I like GNX. Yeah, I thought it was a good performance for that type of crowd. I don't think it was a good Super Bowl performance. You know what I mean? It was for the masses. It's a good Super Bowl performance for niggas who fuck with Kendrick. You see what I'm saying? But for the masses, it went over most people's head. It wasn't, entertaining to them because he didn't play the recognizable songs. You know what I mean? He has many songs that people know and revere and heard on movies and heard everywhere. You see what I'm saying? But he chose to go with mainly GNX. You know what I mean? And GNX and Not Like Us. And I think that the song that people knew was Not Like Us. So that was the only moment. Well, not the only, but the moment in his performance that people's like, that they could connect to. But a lot of people that's not really Kendrick fans didn't really connect to the GNX albums.
I think he stayed away from status quo. I thought it was perfect for what he wanted to do. And that was to put his new album on display. Made a whole lot of moves because I believe he wound up having the #1 streaming network over since the Super Bowl, and 3 of his albums wound up going back into the top 10 through streaming throughout this time period. So shout out to Kendrick Lamar for making money, because that's what he did. He made a lot of money off of what he did at the Super Bowl.
That's cool.
I like the performance.
But at the time, when I'm watching, I can remember thinking, yo, I like this, but they don't. A lot of people don't like this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you asking me what I think about the performance, I like this performance. But I know that didn't go over well with a lot of people.
My thing was, when you got to keep explaining something and be like, yo, you just didn't get it. Because this is what social media did. Mm-hmm. Everything, yo, if you didn't get his performance, you weren't woke. You're not in the know and all this other stuff or whatever. My whole thing was, I was kind of just waiting for Not Like Us because my whole thing was, I wanted to see where it was going to go off with the whole Drake thing. See, because Drake made this moment what it is. He made the song bigger than what it is. And I'm just looking like,
how you do that?
When you up here complaining and suing and stuff like that, like even like this, now Not Like Us is probably, impact-wise, clearly a top 5 song, this song of all time. Because of the impact now, granted, you add social media and everything else. Now, it might go up another notch, and I'm going to tell you how. I got to see what Drake is going to do with his new album or with any type of music coming back. Because when I think of diss records, you got to think of the impact that it has to have. So for me, no particular order, and I'm not naming 5, but what the Bridges Over did to MC Sham and the Juice Crew and all that, that's a career was spawned on the backs of that diss record. So because of that kind of impact, you got to put it up there. Ether was just lyrical for what it was, and it was more so, it was a Titans fight because most people was like, okay, most people can argue that Jay and Nas was the best lyrically. That might be the best lyrical joint we've seen because we just know both of them really can go at it, can go get it.
Okay.
I don't think Ether's one of the super best, but it's the fact of who it's going against and how he did it. Clearly 50 and Ja, how that one went. Look at Ja. It's how he responded to 50 in the barrage of disses
Right.
that made it look like, dang, he really got you up out of there. I personally used to always say, if I was in Murder Inc., I'd be like, yo, dog, we still got to make these records for these chicks because we're abandoning our core audience. And he kind of went away. Like, hindsight is 2020, but I was saying this in real time. John needs to just go at 50 on mixtapes and leave it there and then go and keep making his records because people already had Ja fatigue because he was winning, and 50 knew that too.
So do they have Drake fatigue?
Yes, people do. And that's what I mean. People definitely have Drake fatigue. I understand why Drake and LeBron hung out a lot because they got a lot of they got a lot in common. They're both passive aggressive, and they both also do a lot of things that's self-inflicting, and then be like, "Yo, why everybody picking on me?" Like, nigga, because you sued him. Your company sued him. Yes, he called you a pedo, and you may not like what that stands for. Nobody, no straight man, no man wants to be called that.
Yes.
But it's still just a word. And it's still, now mind you, I don't mean it's just a word and I'm brushing under the brush. I'm just saying, he dissed you, say something back.
So
take the low, I want you to go, my thing is this before you go, what I'm saying with the pedophile, because I don't want people thinking that, I just don't want people thinking that I'm brushing under the rug as if I don't care about pedophilia and I'm with it. No, what I'm saying is this. When he called you a pedophile, that was low in your eyes. Go lower. Find something. I don't know what lower is, but go lower.
I think he tried, but it didn't work. But what do you say to this? Because you said that he has to the impact has to in some ways be detrimental to your opponent, right?
Yes.
Drake just put out an album. He put out an album, what was it, last week? With Party Next Door.
I'm hearing that.
And it was supposed to be a Party Next Door and Drake album. It was a Drake album. I heard the album. It was Drake. Party was barely on it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Before the week was out, it went on sale. That's weird for Drake. Like, that's a weird thing.
You said it went on sale.
Went on sale. So it was streaming. It was, people was, purchasing it. You know what I mean? And, the $9.99, whatever. Then it was on sale, $7.99. That was weird to me. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to purchase it, but, I listened to it. I streamed it. And then the streams wasn't really doing that well as Drake should midweek. And then miraculously, it got up to, he moved about 250,000 units, which is great, but not really for Drake. You see what I'm saying? So it's, I feel like by going by what you're saying, Kendrick has had an impact on Drake so far, even in the music part. Where I think is different is that Drake has such a following, such a cult following. He going to do numbers, even if they not like what his numbers was before, because he in disputes with UMG, which is his label. I don't expect Drake to ever have sell numbers like he did before, but he always going to move units.
This is the problem with it. This is what happens when you don't really grow with your music. He really doesn't really grow with his music. He's Drake is now in his 30s or whatever?
Yeah, almost 40.
Almost 40. Okay, we get it. You're the pretty boy, you're the songstress or whatever. You sing, you rap, you dance, you act. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of... This is what they say about Drake. He's an artist. He's not a better rapper. He's just a better artist. Fine. But the whole thing is this, and what I've been saying for years about him, he doesn't stand behind anything. And this is why he can't catch his footing to even understand. Kendrick had a masterful plan with the stuff he said. Now, I've listened to Not Like Us in its entirety, a month and a half ago. That was the first time I listened to the whole song straight through. Because normally it comes on. I always like the beat though. I was like, yo, this beat is all right. Because I like those synthesizers, that boom, boom, boom. I like how that joint rock. But I never really listened to the song. And I'm going to say something on camera. Because you know I'm a lyrical guy. I didn't understand the A minor line initially. I'm talking about it's been out because I didn't pay attention to the song.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to the song. So whenever it would come to that part, A minor, I was like, why is everybody getting hype on this part? So how do you normally hear music? You're driving and you just letting it play. So I'm playing the joint. I'm letting, it's at random. I got on shuffle. It's playing, so it comes on. So I said, okay, let me listen to this joint. When he says the part where he says about the pedophile, and he was like, what you trying to strike a chord? And then he said, you trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor. I said, oh snap. That was a crazy double entendre. Because I know the A chord and the whole A minor, that's one of the joints. But he's saying A minor as in, I was like, oh, I said that was good. And then that's when I really started listening to the song. But with that being said, the last two verses were okay. He really buried him in one verse because he said where he was going with it. He took an ether approach. Quiet as kept. He took an ether approach because he broke down. He definitely still said stuff in the second and third verse. But first off, one of the funniest parts, by the third verse, I was laughing because when he was like, you a fan? And then he was like, you freaky ass nigga. That shit is, I don't know why that shit is so funny to me.
It is funny. It's a funny ass line.
He's like, you a fan, you a fan, you a fan. I'm thinking he's talking about, oh, you know you really like my style. This nigga was like, freaky ass nigga. I was like, yo, I promise you, for about 10 minutes straight, I just kept rewinding the third verse. Freaky ass nigga. I was like, yo. And you know, y'all Philly niggas, that's one of y'all slangs. Because you know, Philly niggas be like, yo, this freak boy ass nigga. That shit just sound funny to me or whatever. But he definitely, this definitely gave Kendrick, and I don't want to put on the same level because he's an independent artist. This reminds me of that Locks and Dipset joint. Because the Locks, a lot of doors opened up for the Locks after that verses. Kendrick, like Greg said, them streams went crazy just for that. Them white folks, they sitting there, people that don't even know the full beef.
Yes.
Now when you hear ding, 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 oh, they lose their minds now.
Yeah.
I mean, just literally, just look at what happened the week before the Super Bowl at the Grammys. The man collected 5 Grammys.
Oh yeah.
At the Grammys, they played that song when he came on stage. The entire, I'm gonna say center row, when all of the major,
the whole
thing.
But when you hit, when they did the A minor joint, and you heard the entire Staples Center, because I'm gonna always call it the Staples Center. When you heard the Staples Center say that whole line, I'm like, damn, he just killed Drake. He killed Drake, and there's nothing else Drake can even do. So it's funny that his album drops and we just talk about the streams are low for Drake. Yeah. There's a reason, because he has been killed. He has been buried. The Super Bowl was basically the repast. That's how I look at it. That was the repast.
I will say it because you are an old nigga, you won't let the old die. This is the best diss track ever.
Oh, you talking about these things? Because I think it's there. I really do think it's there.
It's the most. It won 5 Grammys.
It's the most commercial. It's the best. What I will concede is this: it's the biggest commercial diss track ever. It's the biggest commercial joint.
Now my bias is I think No Vaseline is still the best diss track.
Somebody diss track today,
but this one here is tough.
This like this, it has the. This is why it's not. I don't want to take anything from it. But at the same time, it's a cheat code because now you got social media adding to it. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is why they keep making these comments, and stay with me, this is why comments like that, and I understand why you said it, but when people will be like, yo, Chris Brown and Michael Jackson, no, you got social media, you doing this. Mike was doing this without none of this. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference because So he did that without social media. What do you think would have happened?
I don't
with
think
it?
that's a fair comparison, because Michael Jackson, without social media, was just a bigger artist
This
than
is
Chris
what
Brown.
I'm saying.
But
But
when-
Drake, so Drake is not. Put it this.
But you're not comparing.
Hold on, but real quick, let me get because you're a Drake guy, you're a Kendrick guy, so I'm gonna ask you. So before the whole dissing, what was the distance between Drake and Kendrick in terms of who's the bigger artist? Was it a sizable gap, or was it like 1-2, or was it 1-2? That's the question.
It depends on who you ask, and
I'm asking you.
I don't think. But what I'm saying is, I don't think the gap was as big as people put it. You see what I'm saying? So yes, Drake was ahead of him. Point blank, period.
All right.
Ahead of him. But he wasn't light years ahead of him, which is why this was the matchup people wanted. This is why Drake dropped the ball. Because he thought that he was light years ahead of Kendrick, and he making diss tracks, and he addressing 17 other niggas on his diss tracks. This is Kendrick Lamar. He ain't them. You have to address the lion in the room. He is absolutely on your level lyrically. And yes, you're a bigger artist than him. But anybody can fall. You see what I'm saying? And he is not one that you can just be like, give some bars to. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I just don't. It's the same mistake I think that Jay made.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that.
You see what I'm saying? It's the same
that's
mistake
where I was
Jay
going.
made.
Thank
You can't just give
you.
Nas a verse and then go into
No, you can't
Prodigy. You know what I mean?
He gave Nas lines, and I was saying in real time, this is not what you do, Jay, because like by you saying little stuff like, J.O., you're not a felon, you're a misdemeanor, get you out of here. You can't do that with Nas. You can't give him one line and say, get him out of here. No, because what Nas was doing, Nas was coming back with whole freestyles just about you.
Yeah, but what he did was he gave Nas a verse on Takeover. He gave him a verse.
After, but he did it after Nas came out with the Stillmatic freestyle.
Right. But he gave Nas a verse, and then Nas came out with Ether.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't do, like, we could take our jabs, we can do freestyles, we could go back and forth. But when you can't give me a verse, like, that mean, that's more than a jab. Now I'm gonna have to go home, get in my bag. You see what I'm saying? And I think that Drake thought that he was gonna give Kendrick a verse and talk about all these other guys and I got the better song. Don't nobody care about that. You talking about a size 7 men's? That ain't gonna get it done against Kendrick.
What Drake thought also was this. He thought the same thing was gonna happen. I'm gonna put out this little quick diss on Kendrick, talk about everybody else, and I'm gonna let my fans take care of it. He thought the fans were going to bury him, because that's the same thing with, you got the Beehive, you know what I'm saying? You got everything else. They normally let the fans do all the fighting for you in the comments. Drake thought that was going to be the case, and Kendrick was strategically doing stuff to offset that. Let me unify the Bloods and the Crips on camera. I'm a Compton dude. Let me show this. And Kendrick got into him because he started attacking his character, and that's where I knew it was not going to land well for Drake. Yo, where you from? Look, you're not from Houston. You act like this. You go down to Atlanta. You try to act like them dudes. Drake has always reminded me of this. He reminds me of the dude that he's going to dress like whoever he's hanging around. Oh, y'all niggas is drinking lean. Y'all walking around with a cup. Yo, where's my cup at? Where's my cup? Where's such and such?
So
he going to do that stuff. Go ahead.
So the perfect comparison is Joe Budden had a diss record towards Drake, and he said like some of almost the same stuff that Kendrick said, but his arms was too short.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. And Drake didn't even really have to respond. Drake give Joe bars every now and then, but you know what I mean. He didn't have to respond because he was here, and at that time, especially at that time, Joe was nowhere. You see what I'm saying? My question to you, though, because we passed that, is do you think the Super Bowl performance put the exclamation point on it and now it's over, and to address it will be beating a dead horse? Or do you think, Kendrick continues to take jabs, or Drake even says anything about it anymore?
So for me, I think it's over. And the perfect segue into it was TV off. Because the way that he presented that and then hit the game over, I'm like, damn, he just ended this whole thing. You don't need to deal with it no more because he kind of killed it with that.
What about from Drake? You think he should just be done with it?
This is the thing. Why? First off, in hindsight, he should be done with it. But this is the problem. What does Drake hang his hat on? What does he hang his hat on? We don't know. That's the point. We don't know what he hangs his hat on.
Being the man.
Because
being number one.
Yeah, but so okay, thank you. But if that's what he hangs his hat on, you gotta do something. You still gotta do something. You got work to do. If that's the case. Because I'm glad we're having this conversation because it's a lot of metaphors and different groups and things. The Locks versus 50 Cent. We know 50 is one of the biggest trolls ever. And all this other stuff. 50 normally gets people out of there with jokes and money. What he normally get you out of there with. 50 don't normally get you out of there with lyrics. And I like 50 Cent. But he don't get you out of there with lyrics. He gets you out of there with jokes, authenticity, and some small set of lyrics. He went at the Locks. What do the Locks hang their hat on? We get busy on the mic. We don't have to dress better than you. We don't have to have money with you. And it's so much that the fans, you can't even use that against the Locks. Going at the Locks and saying, I got more money than you, that's not going to move the needle. No fan is going to be like, oh, well, casual fans, but no real hip-hop fans is going to say, well, I got to run with 50 because he's got more money than the Locks. The Locks are 3 millionaires that pride themselves and they work hard at trying to make it look like they just some regular dudes that got a couple of dollars. We know better. They all millionaires. They doing well in their own right. But they hang their hat on, we get busy. And that's what everybody knows them for. And everybody's like, nah, if you want to be better than them, you got to show us that you get busy. And hold up, and 50 kind of just, you know what? And I'm not saying 50 copped the plea because 50 used that as, look here, we never really had no real beef. And he's right. He was like, yo, we didn't really have no street beef because he knows that's another level too. Like, okay, these niggas, they'll go with the streets too. 50 wasn't afraid. But he's like, I wanted y'all, but it ain't really about nothing. I don't have that kind of vitriol against y'all. That's why that went over smooth. The John 50 joint, we know, he is to death. And it's clearly, rest in peace, Irv Gotti. It's to death. 50 trolling now. We smoking on that Irv pack. When you're a rapper and you don't hang your hat on something, you kind of open yourself up to all kind of scrutiny and all kind of disses. And that's always been Drake's thing. You're right. He prides himself on being a man, smashing niggas' girls, doing all this other stuff. And Kendrick just said, no, nigga, the word is that, and the little infamous, say Drake. Now, we all heard the song prior to, but it was that much funnier when you see him with the little smirk, live on the Super Bowl, and with the smile. Say Drake, you know what I'm saying? Because now I'm not gonna say this would have made it better because I like the performance and I got it. But when he did it right. Certified lover boy, certified woo. He was like, oh, I'm not gonna mess up the sponsorships. I'm not going to crash out.
That wasn't a woo.
Exactly.
That was a kid screaming.
No, that was a kid screaming, but for whatever. But
that was crazy.
He knew the crowd was going to say it anyway. I don't have to say it. You see what I'm saying? Like that. So it's one of those.
He put on a performance.
Huh?
He put on a performance.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Even with them running with the banners, with the little kids with the A, the little small A, I'm like, damn, yo, you're really embarrassing this man on
Can you
national
explain
TV.
that? Because I don't understand the A chain. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what that was about.
Actually, that has nothing to do with Drake, really.
What does that do with that? I don't know.
That's his new company's symbol. And it's escaping my mind right now. But that's his company.
It had nothing to do with Drake.
No.
So why was because that was word.
That's his logo. That's his new company.
That was the word.
So hold on.
It's like these things holding up an A. That's his.
So from what I seen,
Yeah,
it looked like a boy and a girl underneath of a lowercase a. Is that the logo of the company?
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Yes, that is the logo.
Oh.
That's different.
Since we on Super Bowls, might as well transition to the NBA. Now, I'm going to tell you like this, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted 98 to come through. Prior to 2025, what was it last week? The 15th? No, 16. Yeah. I thought the worst All-Star game in NBA history was 1994. I thought that was the worst All-Star game in NBA history. Y'all remember that was a joint, not just because Scottie Pippen won the MVP.
Disrespectful.
That's what made it even worse too. He won the MVP of that game, but Charles Oakley was an All-Star that game. John Starks was an All-Star that game. B.J. Armstrong was an All-Star that game. Horace Grant. It was I don't even want to say the roster. It was terrible.
Jordan left the league in shambles.
Shambles. But it's focus. I thought that was the worst All-Star game ever. This new crap that they got going on of you played to game 40. First off, I already knew. I said it's going to be mad threes just jacked up because they want to do it in a spectacular fashion. What I was waiting for with that format of first to 40, the game's over, you win the game and go on to the next joint. I was like, yo, the only thing that's going to make this exciting is if like Steph hits like 8 threes. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody get real hot and just 3, 6, 9, 12, and they just kind of beat him by himself. That's why they jacked up a lot of threes. They kept giving the ball to Dame, kept giving it to Steph. Steph is in the Bay, so he gets the MVP and everything. But it was corny. You got rising stars in there. Mac McClung has now won the NBA All-Star dunk contest, not once, not twice, but thrice. 3 times in a row. And you know how many points Mac McClung has in his NBA career? I know y'all don't know, but I know. 33. That's it. He has 33 points. He's nobody's all-star. He's never going to be nobody's all-star. The rising star joints, Draymond made the comment. I kind of agreed with him. I thought that was an unwarranted shot at them. But he kind of makes a point. You're not all-stars. You're not all-stars, but this is who you're playing against. Because people aren't going to break it down to those little things. They're just going to say, yo, they an all-star game. You're playing against the all-stars. Because I'm just opening up the can of worms because I need y'all stuff y'all want to follow. Kevin Hart, I know that's your boy. You're not going to tell me he did a good job hosting. He was non-funny the whole time. And I'm getting tired of his jokes. First of all, I personally been tired of his jokes, but it's like, yo, I felt this was a bad Kevin Hart showing. Every now and then, he'll give you some good jokes, and you be like, all right, I get it. He might be a little annoying. This was kind of cringeworthy because it was like he's forcing jokes. He's saying stuff. Shea Gilchrist was like, yo, shut up. Like, it wasn't even feeling the same no more. LeBron not playing. I don't really know how much I feel about that. I'm like, you definitely could have said something earlier because you knew you wasn't playing. But I'm also not shocked that LeBron does stuff like that because he's done stuff like that his whole career. So I wasn't even shocked. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I'm going to go to the second part afterwards. I just want to get y'all take on what did y'all think of the whole festivities of All-Star. Like, it's looking like it's going the route of the Pro Bowl. That's what it's looking like.
It's making me feel old. I'm because I can take it or leave it. I don't even have to watch the All-Star game ever again. Definitely didn't watch the dunk contest. Never watching that again. 3-point contest, I've seen that. That's cool. But Steph wasn't in it, so that's trash. LeBron not playing is the exact reason why All-Star Weekend is trash. I just don't think. I think that the stars make too much money to care about All-Star Weekend. I think that they don't really want to compete. I don't like the form. I don't like that you have to do something outside of playing a basketball game to have it be entertaining. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yes, I agree. Kevin Hart was forced. After a while, I was like, that's my guy, but I was like, go sit down. It don't even look good. You're 4 feet tall with a bunch of giants. Mm-hmm. You look crazy. You forcing it. It's not funny. I think that they've gone to the well with Kevin Hart too many times. You know what I mean? It was good when he first did it, but now it's a little, it's redundant. Yeah, you know what I mean? I just don't think the NBA does a good job. They don't have a pulse on what's relevant. You know what I mean? I think that All-Star Weekend, for what it's worth, is trash and has been for a long time. And I blame the players, the All-Stars. They don't want to play.
So I'm a piggy on this one because you're 100% right. The All-Star game was supposed to be a showcase for the fans to see the star players of the league perform for this weekend. That's in every single competition, from the three-point contest to the slam dunk contest to the game. Rising Star game, Friday night, rookies versus sophomores was a tradition. They should go to that and stick to that and just leave them there. The Saturday night events, the slam dunk, the nostalgia is gone because we've seen every possible dunk that you could imagine.
And don't get me wrong, McClung his dunks was tough.
Right,
like,
but
that's cool. But
he's done something that we've seen already. Jumping over the car, he cleared the car and then he tapped the rim. All right, cool. You don't have too many more dunks that you're going to see from these guys because, like you just said, I don't want to see a star risk his body to try to do a 720 in the dunk contest. I'm just being honest.
Actually, I actually do.
I don't, because I had this conversation the other day. I said, let's say, all right, who's the best dunker in the NBA? Let's say Anthony Edwards, right? So I'm just using Anthony Edwards. So if Anthony Edwards to go out here and attempt to do a 720 and get hurt, Minnesota's season is done, right? So I think you should just go ahead and kill the slam dunk contest because we already know these guys don't want to do it.
So let's just get rid of the whole All-Star Weekend then. Mm-hmm. The whole thing. Because any All-Star can go out there and get hurt in the All-Star game.
Right, just like Wemby did.
Right. So it either you get rid of it altogether or they go out there and compete. I think it's a part of basketball.
I think the competitiveness that you would have to do some kind of incentive. And when I say an incentive, put something different in there and say, yo, the winner of the All-Star game gets home court advantage in the finals. Do something like that. Like, I mean, and this is being realistic about the NBA. They don't care about all of that shit when it comes to seeding and standings because now you got a play-in tournament, right?
Yeah.
If it was all about the regular season, 1 through 8 should be in the playoffs, right? 100%. But you got 7, 8, 9, 10 to do a play-in game. Mm-hmm. So why not just add another thing and say, yo, we making the All-Star game competitive. The winning conference gets home court advantage. The Cavs have been the best team in the NBA this year. But if the West wins, imagine them having to go to Denver, because I'm going to use Denver as an example. Mm-hmm. Bad altitude. If Denver in the Western Conference wins the All-Star game, you're getting 4 games in Denver, Cleveland. Can y'all win one game? Because you got to win at least one game in Denver. So it makes it more competitive. I bet you those stars will start playing then. That's my view. But that 40-point thing, the go back in the year point, was terrible. They had to make sure they had TV time. You had 3 hours that you were already paid for and guaranteed. They had 2.5 hours of Kevin Hart, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and Ernie Johnson just joking and bullshitting around. That was bad.
It was trash.
That was bad. 40-point mark was terrible. I get trying to do something different because you got to try to change it up. is bad. But the only thing I don't like from the players is what Draymond said. Because the NBA player and the old player, they will kill everything about the NBA. They just shit on everything NBA related and then wonder why nobody watches the games. Y'all shit on your own product.
I think, okay, two things can be true. Clearly, you can't shit on the product. But you shit on the product by how
giving you the
play
40,
too.
yes.
So it's like, yo, which is like, so you're killing me for saying it, not you. But y'all are killing me for saying it. But if y'all don't play like that, we won't say it.
So here the problem though. It's just like what Will said. The players don't give a damn. They haven't given a damn in years. So now it's like, well, we wanted to have the regular traditional game. Y'all don't even take that shit serious. When you seeing scores go 260 to 264, no defense, we just shooting, hurry up, get this shit over with so we can go on about our way.
What you just said, you don't want to see the players get hurt.
But they don't take it serious anyway. That's the problem.
But if they do, then they risk the chance of getting hurt.
Yeah, but the whole thing is this. You play ball, you know how this go. Playing to not get hurt is most likely that's the time
how you get hurt.
That's how you get hurt.
Yeah, but they don't play to not get hurt. They don't play.
This is what I'm saying. First off, what I'm trying to figure out is this. Evolution is evolution. Human evolution is always going to rise. When Spud Webb won the dunk contest in 86, you know why it was a marvel? Because he was a little guy.
Right.
Now there's a whole bunch of little guys that can dunk. It's not about better. It's just human evolution. It happens. How is it these dudes are always banged up and hurt? I'm looking like this. It's like how they talk about American muscle cars. You know what I'm saying? Like the U.S. Steel in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Detroit and all that. Y'all are the better physical specimens, but every time I turn around, y'all banged up. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like, so let's have a little fun with it. Not even fun, but it's a history lesson. I put the post up. I don't know if y'all saw it. I said the greatest dunk contest was 1988. Do y'all agree or disagree?
I disagreed, I think, on the post. I said that the greatest one was Zach LaVine versus Aaron Gordon because they were doing everything and they were competing. I get where you were going at with it because you had so many stars that were playing. The Jordans and Dominique went at it in '88. But
no, we're not going to see. I respect what you say. I'm going to tell you why it's not Zach LaVine. For one, if you want to say Zach LaVine and what was it, Aaron Gordon, if you want to say that was the best one, I'm not pushing.
I thought it was better than '88. That's all. I thought it was better than '88.
It could be better.
It could be better,
but it's not greater than.
So
Gotcha.
the greater part comes in when you have two of the best players in the NBA, and not just the best players and two of the best dunkers in the NBA going against each other, competing after they both have won.
Now, this is the thing about that. Thank you for segueing me. This is why it's the greatest. Because it was 4 years in the making.
Right.
Nobody ran from it. 85, that was
Dominique
Jordan's
won.
rookie year.
And Dominique won.
He lost. Dominique won. But Mike was only a rookie. So it's no rivalry there. Oh, this young boy going to be nice because he averaged 28 that year.
Michael Jordan got hurt in
7 and
'86.
6, and ain't nobody averaged 28 as a rookie since. And they don't talk about that enough either. Like all these great rookies, nobody averaging 28 since.
Right.
Okay.
86, Jordan was hurt.
Mike got hurt. So who won the contest? Dominique was in it.
Spud.
With the upset. 87,
Mike.
Dominique's hurt.
Yep. Mike won.
Dominique's hurt. He's not playing. He's not in it. Why? Because he's hurt. Here we are, 88. You ain't hurt. You ain't hurt. He is now Air Jordan.
And Spud was in there too.
Yeah, but you're now the human highlight film. We need to put this to rest. Who's the best dunker? This is the thing about it. Dominique didn't win 3 in a row and then meet up with Mike. Mike didn't win. He lost his first one. He was not in the second one. He won the second one he was in 87 and then 88. Now, I didn't talk about who won. That could have went either way. I always said, look here, they're in Chicago, so if an edge is going to come, it's going to go to Mike. But if somebody want to say Dominique got robbed, I'm okay with that too. But that's not what this was about. It was about, like you said, not only that, the very next day, how much Dominique had in the All-Star game? He had 29. How much Mike had? 40. This is what the crowd wants to see. Nobody cares about Mac. Yo, this is why I said somebody brought up Vince Carter as the greatest one. No. You know what the Vince Carter dunk contest was? That was the best individual showcase of dunks. Because there's no way you telling me, yes, Steve Frank. Somebody, first off, somebody's got he's got to go against somebody. Somebody got to go to the finals. You mean to tell me the buzz around the NBA was, I can't wait until Steve Francis goes against Vince Carter for the dunk contest? No. Said by no one in the world.
It would have been, so greatness would have been like,
if Vince would have been missing dunks
like,
and he won.
Kobe going against Vince.
Exactly.
Or LeBron going against somebody. Or like, fast forward to now, if like Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant was in the dunk contest and they put on a showcase, you know what I mean? They was going at it. That's what I mean about greatness. You see what I'm saying? It's just a different level of nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we gonna remember that Vince Carter had the greatest dunks, but I was a kid watching Mike and Dominique go at it. You know what I mean? And it was before all the antics and all that stuff. They was just two crazy dunkers.
To go back to what you said before, Greg, when you were saying the Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, which it was a crazy contest. I love that dunk with the dude is spinning and Aaron caught. And I personally still think that's one of the best dunks ever in the dunk contest. Because I was like the timing that you have to do that, and he did a windmill. It was crazy.
Yeah, and to see a dunk like that, and then the same thing with the jumping over top of the mascot, and we always called it the shit in the air because he literally jumped over top of him, got the ball, and then tomahawked that one. So that was different. That was different.
This is the difference, though. The picture where Mike is jumping from the free throw line.
Iconic.
That is on millions of people's walls. That is an iconic picture. Ain't nobody thinking about that dunk contest unless you bring it up. Unless you bring it up. And that's not shitting on them. But that joint ain't great. It was a great individual back and forth battle. But once it's over, it's over.
I ain't watching that shit no more. That shit is cringy, yo.
The whole All-Star Weekend is bad.
Yo, the dunk, I watched 3-point contest. The dunk contest came on. The first nigga went and I turned that shit off. I said, I can't watch this. This is bad for TV. This is bad for the NBA. It's not a good showing. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it's just not good. You know what I mean? The whole weekend, it just wasn't good.
First off, we talk about people always want to bring up like greatest. First off, people confuse great and best all the time.
Yes.
You had put me on to that a long time ago, and somebody else did too. We was talking. Floyd Mayweather may very well be the best boxer we've ever seen.
Yes.
Just from a boxing pugilist standpoint. But when you talk about the greatest, Ali's name is always going to be in that conversation. Let me ask y'all this. Name a fight that was bigger than the Ali versus Frazier in our lifetime. What fight can we compare that to?
A lot of people gonna say Ali versus Foreman.
No, you can't use me against me.
I know that, but what I'm saying is a lot of people, boxing guys, is gonna say Ali versus Foreman because everybody thought that Ali was gonna get killed in the ring by George Foreman. But I get where you're going at, so I'm going to stay out of that.
You're proving his point that Ali is the greatest because he has both of the greatest fights in boxing history.
And the thing about it is that clearly that Ali Frazier fight, that wasn't us. We wasn't even around. But the thing about it was, huh?
I'm not Frazier, but I'm talking about what's
Foreman.
his name?
Foreman.
Foreman.
He was live.
No, but he created the rope-a-dope. Like it's a thing.
No, yes, it's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is this: before they even talk about Ali Frazier, they talk about the luminaries that was just in they brought the stars out. I didn't see Jay-Z there the other day. Of course I ain't gonna see Puff now. You know what I'm saying? That would have been crazy if Puff would have showed up like, yeah.
Hey, yo, chill out, yo.
You thought I was in, now I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying.
That was weird.
Beyonce wasn't there. No stars were there.
Yeah.
But this is what they do, because when you water down a product by trying to make everything, you know what? I'm the old head, and fine, get off my lawn. But this is the problem I got with it. And I'm going to look in the camera for this one, because I'm tired of people with the you just owe. If something is better, just be better. That's it. And the only way to be better than something that's already great, and that it's not going to take it down, this is just my personal feeling. Everything that person or thing was wrong about that thing, you have to lap. And this is what I mean by it. And I think you know where I'm going with it. Name me the last time somebody said, who's better, Michael Jordan or Dr. J?
Oh, yeah, no. Nobody says that.
But that used to be an argument. Or who was who were the better player and things like that. Mike has since then superbly lapped him.
Yeah.
Superbly. Like it's not even, not Jay's a champion. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a dunk contest winner. Now, one of the things that I believe Dr. J really should get one of the most credits for, he merged the leagues.
Right.
Because of him. That's impact. So he's always going to be super great to me for that. But you're not Michael Jordan. He lapped what you did. This is the problem. If you're going to be better than something, stop. It's like this generation they anoint people just because they want to have something to anoint and say, yeah, this is the best. No, it's not better, because what we saw was up here. And we're not saying it can't be broke, but just break it. Just you have to actually do it. Yo, and I don't even want to make this a LeBron-Mike conversation. LeBron is great. He's got every record you can imagine, and he's still playing at a high level. I wouldn't say elite, because I don't believe he's playing championship basketball.
Who, LeBron?
Yeah.
Oh, not at all.
So,
not
my
effective.
thing is this. He's been to 10 finals. I get that. There's no metric that where 4-6 surpasses 6-0. That ship has sailed. But what did we start doing? And I mean society's youngest. Well, he had 10. When we was coming up, we ain't ever hear, yo, Magic had 9 appearances. Niggas don't care about your appearance.
Right.
Did you win? Bird got 3 rings. He got more appearances. He got 3 rings. Nobody cares. When did appearances become better than actually winning? And my thing is this. Everything, if LeBron, think about this. LeBron been to 10. If he would have been 9-1, this ain't no conversation. If he'd have been 8-2, this ain't no conversation. We saw somebody surpass this. The problem where I think that ship sailed was when he lost the first one against San Antonio.
Yes.
Subconsciously, I think we all gave him a pass. I even gave him a pass. And I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm saying on camera, I wanted Cleveland to win. Why? Because of what you always say. I wanted to see history.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this young boy is in his 3rd, 4th year.
Yeah.
He about to win a ring.
Yeah.
Point this. People don't remember Michael Jordan saying, there will be another player greater than me. He said that. And I was like, yo, we might be watching it. Like, so everything, you mean to tell me everything we saw with Mike, we're about to see the higher version of that? They lost. I didn't really kill him. I even subconsciously gave him the pass. He's a little young. He don't really got no crazy jumper. Whatever. This is where I think the ship sailed for me. The argument was I didn't have enough pieces to get to where I got to go. If Cleveland would have went back the next year and then lost, it'd be like, oh, you just clearly not going to do it in Cleveland. You don't have any parts. You went back 4 years later and you re-upped with 2 future Hall of Famers. So you basically had your fight, as y'all say, you got banked. Watch, I'll be right back. You go back, you get your crew. They come back. Yo, which one of y'all was messing with my man Braun? Them niggas right there.
Yo.
I bet. What's your other 2 niggas that's supposed to be tough? Yeah, it's you and you. All right, me and my man, this is D-Wade talking. Me and my man Bosch gonna fight y'all too. Yo, Dirk, you and LeBron gonna have to go head up. Dirk, okay, no problem. Dwayne, you fight him first. Bop, bop, bop. Knock his man out. 26 points a game for the finals. Yo, Chris, yo, you gotta fight Sean Marion. Bop, bop, bop. 18.5 points. Sean Marion, about 15. All right, you got yours. Dirk, you and LeBron. Bop, bop, bop. LeBron, get up, fight back. Fight back. Dirk, 24 points. LeBron, 17. After you finish averaging 27 for the season. We didn't even ask you to be super. We just said, do what you normally do. Because people tried to gas that Dallas team too. Yo, that was a great team. No, it wasn't. It was like, yo, put it like this. Does that Dallas team, because you know, this is why I knew I was going to do real sports heavy. That's why I needed both of y'all here. I knew I was a mic guy. Does that Dallas team beat any of the 6 Bulls teams?
No.
Not one. They definitely ain't beating the second 3-peat Bulls. Them niggas is losing that series 4-0 in 3 games. First one, okay, you got Horace. Prime Scotty starting to come in. It might have been a little closer. The only difference is, y'all got a nigga that's going to average 20. We got a nigga that's going to average 40. So that means he's outscoring you and outscoring you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But once they lost, I said it's over. Unless he would have went on a run and he won 6 championships. But it's like, the problem was this. You didn't just have a bad game.
You had a bad series.
You had a bad series. And it's like, yo, and you know what a bad series tell me? What did we used to say, I said Lenny, Will, about losing games in the park by 1 point. Me and this man would play mad games together. If we lost by 1 point, those was the games that stuck to us. You know why? Because that meant something happened and we didn't adjust. We missed our window and we lost 4 games today all by 1 point. That ain't because they was better. We didn't do something. We didn't figure it out. So when you have that kind of series, it showed you didn't figure it out.
I just,
You best disagree.
I don't even argue this
Disagree
point.
me.
I don't even argue this point anymore because, you know, people going to think what they think. I just seen somebody that said, I forget who it was. They said that Colin Cowherd. He said that he said all I know, I don't know who better, but all I know is 40-year-old LeBron ain't nowhere near as good as 40-year-old Michael Jordan. And I agree wholeheartedly. But let's get off of that. Let's go to the NBA because I think the NBA, the All-Star game is a reflection of where the NBA is right now. The NBA is just not entertaining. If they want to change anything, which they won't because money is involved, and money is it's just like anything. When there's too much money involved, it gets watered down and people stop caring about the thing and start caring about the money. You know what I mean? So the NBA as a product is terrible. They play, the players don't care because it's 81 games and it's 10 teams that can potentially be in the playoffs. So it's like, all right, all I got to do is win 40 games and then I got a chance to win the championship. You know what I mean? So a lot of games just don't matter. They just don't. If we already won 20, 25 games and I'm a star, It's like, yo, what am I here for? I don't really feel like playing tonight. So I'm not, got an achy ankle. My wrist hurt. You know what I mean? Put me on an injury report. You know what I mean? But I think I know how to change it. It just can't because it would be less money involved. I'm serious because you got to shorten the season. I think that first of all, I think that the NBA is too available.
You on it? Okay, go ahead.
I think the NBA is too available to everybody. Like, it's on mad different networks. Mm-hmm. NBA should be on 2 networks, and they should play Mondays, Thursdays, and maybe Saturdays. So we know every time the NBA games is on, and that's the only games that's on. Just like the NFL. Everybody watches the NFL.
Because
they play 2 or 3 times a week.
Yep.
And you have to play, but you have to also, I'm not told you to go, but you have to play in NFL. This is what I think they should do too. You don't play, you don't get paid that game.
Yeah.
Hands down.
And it's only 17 games, so every game counts.
The thing is this. These dudes, first off, nobody can take an L no more. It's conducive of out here in the world. This is why guys are shooting. People can't. When did losing the fight become the downfall? Anybody in here won all 8 fights? I never won all my fights. Now, only thing that I normally say is I've never lost a fight the way I've beat somebody. Mm-hmm. But I've definitely CompuBox lost fights.
Hey, you got it.
I'm just saying.
Yo said CompuBox. So funny.
I'm just saying. I hit the nigga 5 times, he hit me 12. Like, shit. The fight went like this. 1, 2. What? This is me. 1, 2.
They went to the scorecard.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
They went to the scorecard.
I said 1, 2, 3. He said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I grabbed him. Fight over. By the numbers, he hit you 12 times. You hit him 5.
So I do agree with Will. I think that the NBA should reduce the amount of games. You already have this marker of 65 games, or you won't be eligible for all NBA first team. So for any awards, we should just lower the games down to 66 games then, because they're gonna all want to play.
I was thinking around there. Take 20 games off, 62 game season.
Okay,
something like that.
I agree with both of y'all, but it goes back to my original point. I'm not debating what y'all saying. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is this. But I thought this was the better, more physically talented. Like, it's
all right. So
you understand? No.
So to your argument, I don't get it. I've heard people argue that.
I don't get it.
But I've heard the other side of that.
Go ahead.
I heard the other side of that is because people are more physically gifted and more athletic, then that lends to more injuries because you got superhumans clashing against superhumans every night.
Yes, but the
see
thing,
what I'm saying?
Yes, but this is my thing. Up until 1969, the world, but prior to 1969, an argument can be made the best players on the planet are not in the NBA because of segregation and blacks not able to play. After 1970, that excuse is over. Every generation, those were the best players that had the offer for that time.
Yes.
Now I'm not talking about Hambone Jenkins that didn't get picked because he was dumb nice, but he had some drug problems. Of course, we know the Joe Hammonds and all the other didn't make it.
I understand that.
For the most part, for your time, the best people are playing.
But the best players does not mean the most athletic players. Does not mean that you're a super athletic, superhuman, run a 4.6. Everybody on the court run a 4.6. I think better players played in the 90s as far as skill of basketball. It's not even up for debate that these guys are more athletic today.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the best player doesn't mean the more athletic. So an argument that I've heard used against, if they're so much better athletes, why they keep getting hurt is because all of them are so much better athletes and they're clashing against each other. And it doesn't matter how good of an athlete you are, you're susceptible to getting injury the faster, stronger, and more athletic that you are. The niggas that jump out of the building always get hurt.
But when has that been the case? Like, it's always been the case like that. Like dudes that jump out the building, the dudes that play the most physical, they getting hurt. Like my thing is, it's not an outlier. Like it's happened every
But that was just the
generation.
answer. That's
You're right.
the answer
Yeah.
to your question.
Okay,
If
that's
they
what people are saying.
Yeah, if they so athletic, then why are they getting more? If evolution makes them a better athlete, then why are they getting hurt? And me personally, I think it's because they're a better athlete that they rely too much on athleticism and less on skill.
And what about the fact that they are afraid to lose? This Brandon thing is out of control.
Oh, no, I don't think that they care if they lose.
They do. No, they do care.
No, in the NBA? Not at all.
I believe they do.
100% they don't care.
I'm going to tell you why they do care. They care because it goes back. We can't have
Five
it both
niggas
ways.
in the NBA who care if they lose.
What I'm saying is this, and that may be true, but what I'm saying is this. I got to believe they do care because this is why there's no All-Stars competing in nothing. Put it this. Right now, put it this. Dame Lillard is an all-star, so I get it. He's won the last few three-point contests and all that. That's cool. You think 10 years from now we going to remember that? Honestly? No, I don't mean we're getting senile. What I'm saying is this. We'll remember if you ask it because y'all sports guys, we sports guys, we'll understand that. But here we are, 40 years later, everybody remembers Bird with that Celtic warm-up on. And winning the contest, putting the finger up. You see what I'm saying? This is what he is the man shooting threes. And of course they put that Draymond clip. What I'm saying is this.
From our era. From our era.
Yes.
But the kids ain't going to remember Bird.
They don't have to remember it.
They're going to remember Steph. They're going to remember Steph.
They're only going to remember Steph because Steph is the greatest shooter in terms of NBA.
But before him, there was a Bird.
And the thing was this. Steph has had a stellar career, but he hasn't had a whole lot to me of super moments.
Shit.
I think he's had 10 in his career.
That's a lot.
Not when you playing as long as you playing.
Shit, that's a lot.
Actually, I think I said 10. I think I misspoke. Maybe 5. What were his defining moments?
Steph is great.
No, I'm not. But what's his give me one defining moment game that you was like, yo, this is why he's him.
It's too many.
Just name one then.
It's too many. Like every third quarter. Like what are we talking about?
No. What are we talking about? What we're talking about is I also remember you couldn't get a shot up over Kevin Love. I also remember what you did those last 3 games, up 3-1. It's only, and the reason why that matters is because in the history of the NBA, there's only been 2 teams that have ever won 70 games. So that was supposed to have been a foregone conclusion. Y'all were up 3 games to what? It was 3-0. 3-0, right?
No, 3-1.
What series is this?
3-1, the finals.
Against the.
It was 3-1. You're right.
Yes.
It was 3-1. He was not only that, he still is the only unanimous MVP in NBA history, which I thought was crazy. But
why was it crazy?
No, I do think that was crazy
because I don't understand how he's the first
I'm
one.
gonna give you a year that somebody definitely should have been unanimous.
Yeah, like
Shaq should have been unanimous in 2000. Nobody was better than him in 2000.
You don't think Michael Jordan should have ever been unanimous MVP? Ever?
Okay, but that's not an indictment on Steph.
No,
Because
no,
of that
no,
year,
not saying that.
He should have been the unanimous MVP.
Yes,
He's not arguing
he
that.
should have
We
been.
didn't say
He
that.
should have been.
No,
What we're
what I'm
saying
saying is
is
this.
he shouldn't have been the first unanimous
I can go with that.
MVP
I thought
because
y'all
there
was
was
saying it
other
was
years.
crazy that he was
I'm gonna give you.
No,
I'm
we
gonna
said
we
it's
just
crazy
saying
because it is crazy.
he said it's
What's
crazy
that
because it's crazy.
they weren't unanimous MVP.
Yes.
It's not
that's
crazy
what
that
said.
he was a unanimous
No,
MVP.
we're just saying it was crazy that he was the first one.
All right.
Yeah, because he shouldn't have been the first one.
That's what we said.
The first, it was a bunch of them that should have been the first one over top of over top of Curry.
Niggas be hating, man.
Well, the reason why I brought that up is because you were the scoring leader that year. You were the only unanimous MVP in history. You had everything going, but I watched you crumble for 3 straight games. That's got to count for something. That's a collapse of epic proportion.
I don't think so. I don't think he crumbled for 3 straight games.
What do you call shooting? First of all, he shot terribly bad. Last game, okay, bet. You know what? I'm gonna tell you what I thought, and then I'm gonna let you answer why you said you didn't crumble. When they was up 3-1, this is the crazy thing. How many games did Draymond get suspended for?
1.
You can have that game. They took Draymond from us. You can have that game. Y'all won. Y'all going back to Cleveland. We know Cleveland's gonna come out on fire. Kyrie and them had 40. Y'all won. But Draymond came back. Game 6.
They didn't have their whole team. They lost.
Now hold on. Let's look at history.
Stop, yo.
Bogut got hurt in Game 5 as well.
Okay.
So when Bogut goes down, that changes their whole entire defensive scheme because he was the rim protector. Because
Yes.
LeBron and them were not going to the basket
Yeah, that
when
changed the
Bogut was
whole
there.
complexion of
So
the
it changed the series. But I agree. I'm agreeing with both of y'all. Nice, at your point, Chef had another game at home in Game 7 and didn't show up. He did not show up in Game 7.
Yes, that's
Draymond showed up because I believe
By
Draymond.
design.
I believe Draymond had a
32.
10 and 9 in that game.
But that was by design.
I get it,
They
but
left
he
Romano.
still got it.
Yes.
And Chef didn't do nothing in that
This
series.
is my thing with Chef.
And that's in that game.
Yes, but
He
this
did.
is my thing. This
And
is
he
my
got
thing.
ejected in Game 6.
You don't get to see. You don't have it both ways. How about this? Yes, all the semantics of Bogut going down. Yes, that's true. But we keep saying two things could be true. Yes, Draymond got suspended. Ba-da-da-da-da. You're the unanimous MVP. I don't give a damn. The championship hopes don't hinge on your role players not being available.
Yes, they do.
You know.
Yes,
the
they
thing
do.
is this.
Yes,
no,
they do.
no. See, now you're trying to give them bait.
No, I'm not.
Get it done. You're up 3-1. Play this.
I agree with that.
Michael
I
Jordan.
agree with that.
Michael Jordan at age 45. If you came to him and said, Joe, Mike, we're gonna put you in this series. Matter of fact, not 45. I ain't gonna OD. At 40, let's go Wizard 40, Mike.
Yes.
Mike, you want another ring? Yeah. We're gonna put you on this team. Y'all are up 3-1. Y'all just got to win one game. Michael Jordan might have 2 stinkers, but you know what he's thinking? I just got to be great one time. I just got to be great. We up 3-1. I got to be great one
Well, hold
time.
on. I gotta say this though, because Will's right too. Because
Yeah, a lot of
as
stuff
great
is
as Michael Jordan was in '93 against the Suns, if Paxson don't hit those threes, role player
What threes?
in Phoenix in Game 6.
No, I'm not going with that.
He
No,
hit
no,
that
you're in the
three.
wrong game.
He
You're
hit
in the wrong game.
he hit the three, the 1-3.
You said threes.
If he didn't hit the 3, I should have said just the 3. They don't win. Going back to
They
the
don't win
LA,
what?
They don't win what?
they don't win
They
that
don't
game. They don't close out that game.
Oh, yeah, they just
All
go
right,
back
well,
to
Yeah,
they go back
so
to
role
Chicago
players
and
are
close it
needed.
out.
Role players
I'm
are
not
needed.
doing
What I'm
that.
getting at.
But I will say this. Michael Jordan's greatest season, he didn't win the championship.
I don't think 88 was his greatest season.
100% it was.
I don't think, no, what accolades? No, you can't have the greatest without winning. That's
Yes,
my
you can.
point. No,
Yes, you
you
can.
can't.
Because
you can't.
when it
you
is-
can have a great season. It can't be your greatest one.
Yes, you can.
You can't.
You can.
No, you can't. You can't.
So let me ask you this. When
that's
is-
a second
wait,
place
let me ask you
mentality.
this.
I can't.
No, it's
Because
not.
we getting into this
Because
sports
it's a team-
mindset.
It's
Go
a
ahead.
team. It's team game. You get this, especially when you're a guard.
So
you know,
when
88,
was
he was? You know, in '88 he was he was in his 4th year. He was in his 4th year.
And
That wasn't even. He just entered his prime.
okay?
So he's supposed to win soon as he enters his prime.
No,
I didn't say he was supposed to win.
But you said that was his greatest season.
It was.
Accolades wise, it might have been his greatest one. Accolades, but he didn't win it. It was a great season. It's not his greatest one.
Didn't win until he got a team that he could win with.
What? He had the same team. Scotty and them came. They wasn't superstars or nothing like that.
They developed into a team that he could win with.
But let me tell you like this with Scotty, because this whole get a team, people like to always say Scotty. I'm not done with Steph either. But what you call it? People like to say Scotty was on the team. No, he was on the team.
Yes.
But it would be great. Mike probably would have won. Mike would have probably won his rookie season if he came on a team with a nigga already averaging 37.
100%.
No, but we know that.
Yeah.
I'm just doing this for the camera because people
Oh, yeah.
be trying to be like, oh, once Scotty got on the team. You mean he was on the team literally? If that's the case, give Harvest Grant the same credit. He didn't win until Harvest got there either. You know what I'm saying? So if we want to say that, let's just say whoever they drafted that year, he didn't win until them dudes came on. What I'm saying is this. You can have individual great seasons and things like that. It's a reason why we call things the mountaintop. Because nobody cares how many times Jacques Cousteau didn't go to the deepest depths. But once you hit that debt, now the clock really starts. Put it this, is this a flash in the pan or are you great? What's the other thing that people like to climb? Pause. Mount Everest. The greatest climbers ever always talk about how many times they failed to make it to the summit. But once you make it to the summit, the theory is, oh, you know what to do now, but can you do it again? You see what I'm saying? If you only make it to the summit one time, we'll applaud you. We'll say you did it. But what's going to happen is, now we're going to also remember, but you didn't make it ever again. So I'm starting to think you got lucky one time, and you're not the greatest climber. You see what I'm saying? That's
Who are we referring to? They got lucky one time.
What I'm saying is this: Stephen won 2015 with a lot of luck of the injury bug.
Yeah, they did.
Everybody won with the luck of the injury bug.
And that's cool.
But hold on.
All I know is
but
this.
before you go there, because I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say this. Chef solidified his whole entire career when they beat Boston, when nobody thought they were going to go back and do that again.
I thought that was a good series for him. I thought
That stamped it and was like, yeah, I won the year that everybody was hurt in 15. We lost in 16 when we were 73-9. Yeah, we won 2 more with KD because that was the cheat code. And we lost to Toronto, real talk, because KD got hurt and Clay got hurt, and they were still in that series going through that. So
before I want you to continue, let's not gloss over the fact, once again, he had another wide open shot on the wing that the greatest shooter missed. The same way he couldn't get a shot off against Kevin Love.
But
These are moments.
But he solidified himself when they beat Boston.
When he finally got
when they basically said, let me show y'all that I am the man. Because he's the man. He basically proved his point with that one. And he got all his respect right there.
You know what's funny with that Boston thing? I still think Boston had a better team. The problem was this. Jason Tatum shrunk. He shrunk. That's no fault of Steph's. Because you shrinking don't got nothing to do with me busting button. But he shrunk for whatever reason, and this is what happened. But this is the thing. Boston right now, they still at the top of the heap because they won. They got the chip.
Yeah,
they the team to beat.
If they turn around and at least play like this, you at least got to go back because I'm telling you like this. I don't buy Cleveland. I don't buy what Cleveland is doing. Like I don't. I think this is fool's gold, and the reason why I believe it's fool's gold is because for Cleveland to win, you have to tell Donovan Mitchell, for us to win the championship, you're going to have to average 27 points. And I don't think he can do that.
Nah, he's going to have to average more than that.
This is what I'm being nice. I was nice about it. I said 27. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But the point is still the point. You have to do this. If you do this, we will win the championship.
No, he's going to have to average over 30 points in a finals series twice. So what I mean
throughout the playoffs.
No, they can win playoff series.
They can win the first 2 series.
Eastern Conference Finals,
you gotta average
has to average over 30. And in the finals, he has to average over 30 for them to win. He can average 25 and all. They can get through the first couple rounds of the playoffs. They a good team. But when you get to the great teams, you gotta get crazy.
Every game.
Yes.
So right now they the number 1 seed, right? They number 1.
East, yes.
Yeah, they're gonna run through unless they get Milwaukee, but I think Milwaukee's done.
I think Giannis is gone. I think Giannis is like, yo, I've had enough of this stuff.
Yeah. You gotta chill.
I'm saying, that's how I be talking, yo.
Look.
It's like, I've had enough. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing out here. He's like, I got Dame Leonard. He can't do nothing no more.
And now Bobby Portis is out.
That's the real question.
Now Bobby Portis out for 25 games for the steroids.
He stopped doing steroids, man. Y'all believe in the Lakers?
No, not this year. And I'm a Lakers fan, die hard. But I don't believe.
What do you mean by not this year?
I don't think that this team in a series in the West against, because right now I think they 5th or 6th. That means they would play Denver again in the first round. They're not beating Denver in the first round. They're not going to beat Memphis in the first round this time because I think Memphis has grown up.
So what do they need to win? You keep saying this time, like, what do you mean?
When we talk about, when you're saying the Lakers, do you believe in them? You talking about going to the what, Western Conference Final?
Yeah.
No, they're not going to the Western Conference Final.
So yes, but you keep quantifying it
I said no from the beginning.
I don't believe them in them this year.
No, I don't believe in them this year.
So you believe in them next year?
I believe that with their free agent moves that they're going to make, because they invested into a face of their franchise, being Luka Doncic. So they're going now, because he's a face, people are going to want to play with one of the best players. I believe the Lakers are going to make moves to get more talent to come into Los Angeles.
And they're going to win with Luka at the head, is what you said.
Yeah.
All right.
Where does that leave LeBron?
LeBron's 41 years old.
LeBron need to go. I mean, in real life, he needs to go.
The problem
He's
is
in the way.
This is the problem. This is why I say the Lakers, and we're going to wrap up soon, why the Lakers, as long as LeBron's there at this point, they're not going to win.
No.
I'm going to tell you why. LeBron is considered top 2 to all top 1 best player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is this. Can LeBron win a championship without getting the finals MVP? Because that would have to mean he's going to have to be the best player unless they're going to just give him the MVP but if Luka is really killing, I don't see how you can't give Luka the MVP. But that doesn't work towards the script of LeBron's legacy.
How many games Luka played with the Lakers so far?
3 or 4.
How many points he averaged?
Like 16.
LeBron is in the way.
He had 14 points the other day, and LeBron did a lot of dribble. He's a ball-dominant player.
And so is Luka.
Exactly.
But Luka's 26.
And Luka
LeBron got to go. He got to go. He had a run, like a historic career. Like, he was him.
This is what happens when you're chasing ghosts, though.
He got to go.
That's part of it, but it's also it's also the league. They allow this shit to continue to keep happening. He's 20, exactly. 21-year veteran.
More about the money than the product.
21-year veteran, and they still saying, well, LeBron is top 5 in the league. I seen the Kevin Garnett podcast. He said Bron's still top 5.
No, he's not.
At 41? No, sir.
And if he is, that's a shame.
Exactly.
That's a shame at 41. If he's top 5 in your league is trash.
Agreed.
What are we really talking about? He's top 5 and dudes is 25, 26, 27 and calling themselves all-stars? And the 40-year-old man is better than you? Stop.
But watch this. We going back to the All-Star game. LeBron decided an hour before the game that he wasn't going to play, right?
Well, he knew before that.
I know that, but they put it out there. And now what they say, man, this All-Star game is bullshit. Because LeBron didn't play in a game that's going to 40? That's telling you what's going on with the league, right? It's telling you.
They marketing LeBron, man, because, I mean, I guess it's profitable, but what's the future? What does the future hold for the league?
Watch this. This is my last question. Who is the future face of the NBA?
I'm going to say it again. It's never going to be an overseas dude. No matter what they do, it's just never going to be one. And I said this before, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I still don't think the next face is in the league right now. I don't think the next face is in the league, honestly. And I know that sounds like a cheap, you know what I'm saying, like vague thing, but I don't. It's not. Put like this: there are remnants of the face in the league right now. He said it earlier. Anthony Edwards could be. He has all the makings to be the next face.
Why isn't he though? Why isn't he?
Because he got too many kids. He obviously gives way more credence to having sex than basketball. He's just great at basketball.
Okay.
I
wasn't even going there with it.
Y'all was going that right.
Listen. I was being facetious.
I know.
Kind of. But in real life, he has all the mechanics in making of being the greatest player ever. Mm-hmm. But in this last season, I didn't see growth at all. None. The one thing about LeBron is from the time he came into the league, his first, I want to say, 10 years in the league, you could visibly see him getting better every season. True. You could see what he worked on the offseason. Mm-hmm. Oh, he got a over the right shoulder fadeaway jump shot now. Oh, he worked on his post game. Oh, he can shoot a little bit now. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Anthony Edwards came into the league scorching. I don't even really see that mid-range too much no more.
He's shooting a lot of threes now.
All he doing is he is falling in line with all the rest of the players. He looking like everybody else. And don't get me wrong, he's a great player. But that maturation, that getting better. Michael Jordan did the same thing. Every year he got better.
So you looked at it from one aspect of it. I was looking at it from this. He needs to be in a big city. And when in the NBA, we look at big cities, New York, Chicago, LA. I always consider Miami as a big city for NBA market. Boston is a big city for NBA market. He has to be in a big city to be better because now you have no choice but to either evolve or fall to the masses. Being in Minnesota, he probably like, man, this is never going to win no title.
Why?
Because that team and that organization is not traditionally good.
Neither was Chicago.
And that's my thing. Who made it great? Great player, right? They evolved in a big city. Then you go and see the next move of a next great player. Most of your great players go to great big cities. Literally, look it up. Dirk is probably one of the rarity. Dirk, Tim Duncan are a rarity. And Greek.
What
Everybody
makes
else
Minnesota
is
not a big city?
Because there's not a big NBA city. It's not.
Neither was Chicago.
Chicago is a big city.
It was not an NBA city before.
Right, I get that, but that's still one of the big three cities in what we look at in national sports.
Minnesota's a big city. Dallas is a big city. What are we talking about?
Dallas is a big city now.
What you just said, Dirk
Minnesota's not going to win nothing.
What?
Think about it.
Minnesota's a big city.
Minnesota's not going to win. He's not going to win in Minnesota.
Because if they don't win, it's because of him.
So you don't think it's because of the front office move of staying with Rudy Gobert and not the guy that they just traded to another big city in Karl Anthony Towns? Because I think Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards worked well because we already know Cat's game is what? I'm going to be the best big man shooter of all time. Yeah. So guess what Anthony Edwards got to do? Evolve his game, playing with better talent.
But you said he won't get better. Like he can
I don't think
he's
going to get better in Minnesota the way that they got it.
Then he won't get better. Because he ain't going to.
Got to get out of Minnesota.
He ain't going nowhere. Make the most money there.
Make that money trade away. Look at what they just did with Luka. They just traded him from Dallas.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't understand why they would do that.
Money.
Money for who?
They don't want to pay him.
Why not? You got to pay somebody.
New owner want to do something different.
No, that was stupid.
I agree.
No, that was really stupid. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to blame Anthony Edwards not developing on him being in Minnesota. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that.
I don't see where he evolves in Minnesota. Like it's almost like Ja Morant. Ja Morant is playing well when he's on the court. He's going to keep getting better because of the team that they have around him and the system that they built. But I don't think Memphis is going to win anything. I really don't. I think Memphis is going to be one of them solid little regular season teams, going to be right where they are, and then they're not going to win a championship.
I thought Memphis had a squad, and I thought that they was onto something until Ja Morant kept playing with guns.
Right. And I don't.
That's not
and guess where
Memphis' fault. That's Ja Morant's fault.
Right where they're at right now. Ja Morant is in Memphis, and I guarantee you they won't win anything. Stamp that. They'll never win anything in Memphis.
Why?
Because their team is not going to be good enough to win.
All right, but Ja Morant is a part of that.
Yeah.
So you saying Ja Morant ain't good enough to win?
I don't think so.
All right, well then you saying Anthony Edwards ain't good enough to win? I just think
they might need to change the scenery. Sometimes change the scenery helps guys win. Now they still young.
Yeah, when LeBron was after LeBron came in the league, yeah, change the scenery always help you win.
Yeah, and that's what's going to wind up happening.
Of course, LeBron changed the trajectory of basketball.
Nobody stays home anymore. Niece, what else you got?
Only thing I gotta say is to close out. I don't like how you try to sneak that little John Paxson little tidbit in.
He hit a three
without saying the whole thing. Yes, he hit a three. The Bulls scored 12 points that quarter.
We talking about the Sun series?
Who had the other 9?
I was talking about the Sun series.
Mike averaged 4. I'm done.
Exactly. Who had the
other 9? We always just talking about role players still matter.
Who had the other 9?
Role players do matter.
No, we do say they matter. But who had the other 9?
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
That's it. That's all I need to say. So, on that note, This was Ocean's View, the sports edition, entertainment. See y'all again. Peace.
Peace.